right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Park Job Podcast. Today we got me, Trent, to my right, but also to the way far right, we have
Jonah.
And then into my furthest right, but actually in the middle today is
Chandler Kramer.
And with Chandler Kramer on the pod. Surprise guest visit.
Just kidding. My name's Ian.
Oh, imposter. I'm pretty sure you can go to jail for that.
No, that's only if I claimed his taxes.
Fair enough. I don't think it's actually true. It's identity theft.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're going to have a short pod today. Technically going to be the first one. We recorded this a couple times, but it just did not go well. And now we got some new software, got some new hardware, got some new peripherals, and we're ready to go. So
got some new attitudes.
Yeah. Anyway, so first topic on the day, we just found out yesterday, which is Saturday at the day of recording this pod, Gannon Buhr, Discmania. I want to hear you guys' thoughts. I don't think any of us were really surprised by this move. Kind of foreseeable the entire time. And even with his trickery and gimmicks, it was pretty straight to the point. What do you guys think? And what do you guys think about his contract? 3 years.
We have to share a mic today.
They have to share a microphone because I haven't gotten a mic splitter yet, which is a real shame. So we're going to play Who Has the Talking Stick today?
I have the talking stick currently. Actually, I have no idea what I'm going to say. So, Jonah, take it away.
Why did you take the mic?
I had something to say.
I think it is 0%, 0% if it could be negative percent, surprising that he is at Discmania. Everybody knew that. We all saw it coming from a mile away. We all watched Foundation. We knew. We aren't surprised.
We knew.
But I'm wondering about the 3 years. I want to know if that was, I want to know who shot out what number, you know? I feel like Discmania probably wanted Gannon for more, and I feel like Gannon probably wanted Discmania for less. I want to know if they met in the middle or if one person had a firm stance like, I'm not doing more than 3 years. I'm a 19-year-old. As a 19-year-old who is as good as him, I'd be doing 1-year contracts.
I think he's still 18.
As an 18-year-old as good as him, I'd be doing 1-year contracts because his ceiling is unknown currently.
Now,
why limit yourself?
My biggest question is, what do you guys think he signed for? Because do you think the big number, the big 1,000,000 is the actually there's 2 more O's if you count the decimal point. But do you think that is kind of the ballpark of what Discmania was going for?
Yeah, I don't know. The disc golf contracts are always confusing for everybody because they're rarely disclosed what the numbers are. But so it's interesting. I'm trying to think logically here.
Here's the thing.
I agree with Jonah that it probably was Gannon who set it to a lower number of years. So does that mean that Discmania gets a compromise on how much they're paying him? Or is it the other way around that, he's settling to go even more long-term than he would have liked to, so he gets more yearly wage or yearly salary or compensation? Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of an interesting thing to think about.
Yeah, my one big thing that I was thinking about that was the fact that the real first win that we heard about Gannon going to Discmania was last year on the All-Star event, which was ironically right around the time that Simon left Discmania, and there was the $1 million offer on the table from MVP, which was also said to be by Simon matched by Discmania, which means they had the cap space, they were willing to do it. Now, are they willing to invest that money in their future? I don't really know what their money for their future looks like, but I will say they have probably the most exciting young core in Kyle Klein, Gannon Buhr, and then hint, I think it's pretty clear that Alden Harris likely will be going to Discmania as well. Between those 3, that is a extremely solid core, and I wouldn't be shocked if we saw more young talent move that way if they're treating their young talent as well as it appears they might be now.
I personally would be shocked if Gannon got a 7-figure contract, considering one, they didn't say anything about that. If you have the money to flex $1 million contract at a 19-year-old, I would be bragging about it. I I would say something along those lines. Yeah. But I also think the people that do have the $1 million contracts, of course, they are some of the best players in the world. That goes without saying. But I don't think that's why they got their $1 million contracts. I think it's the way they push plastic. And looking at the numbers, Gannon just doesn't push plastic quite as well as those guys do. So I'd be pretty surprised if they gave him that much money. But yeah, the exciting he deserves a hefty sum, especially if they're investing in their future with those young guys.
Now, the next thing I wanted to expand on here was something I was actually thinking about pretty hard on in the car. Was I'm really excited to see what Gannon's first tour series is going to be, and maybe his first even couple discs. And I have three theories. My first one being I think Gannon's not going to be quite as satisfied as maybe Discmaniacs might want them to be with the mid-range lineup. The MD3 is fantastic, MD1's fantastic, MD5 is fantastic. Not saying that. I'm saying he loves his flip barely to straight and then has a beefy finish, and that's just not what the MD5 does or what the method does. I think we're going to see very quickly the return of the MD4 in the Discmania Originals lineup. And then my other two takes were a new putter. I don't think he's going to be satisfied with the link, and I think we could very easily see the return of a P1X or even a P2X. Is that ever even a thing? I don't know if it was, but I could see it very well being a thing. And third take was if he did have a Tour Series disc of a disc that already existed, I don't know why we don't have a Swirly or a Halo MD3 yet. So that feels very reserved and extremely easy to toss his way. So what do you guys think he might be getting for a Tour Series disc?
I'll take this one, Jonah. Uh, yeah, I have no idea, honestly.
Thanks for the hot take.
No, I usually I just go along the lines of like, what have they done, right? So I don't know if they'd be quick to step on the toes of Eagle after he leaves, right? He's probably not going to get, definitely not a DD3 Cloudbreaker type disc. Maybe the DD1, just because that's kind of their newest driver.
I would like to mention the PD2 was released within the
Well,
last month.
okay, that's their not their newest driver, but their something that they released a while ago that hasn't really gotten a lot of um,
Action.
traction other than the mystery box they put it out in. So I think that's possible because I'm guessing those discs aren't moving very fast, and it could be a really good way actually to see how well Gannon can push plastic. Uh, One thing you guys were talking about a couple of minutes ago was his ability to push plastic against other people, and I think part of the story that might go unsaid there is he was at a company that just doesn't move plastic the same way as some of the major ones. Prodigy, they do well for themselves. They're a fine company, but they didn't do a lot with player series in general that were really gonna push plastic the same way the Hexalotl did, the same way that a Six Claw Buzz is gonna push, the same way that swirly cloud breakers are. So that's kind of my take is this whatever they release will probably be uh kind of an experiment on maybe a disc that doesn't have a lot of traction right now. Let's see how much Gannon can really push the sales of that disc.
I love first of all the handing, like the passing of the torch between the one lens to the other. That makes me laugh so hard.
Oh, that's good. It goes right.
Little behind the scenes action there.
This might be a bit of a hot take. I would be shocked if at least his first Tour Series disc or disc with, yeah, at least his first Tour Series disc was a distance driver. I think for Gannon, they are going to want, with the money they sank into him, presumably, I think they are going to want to give him a disc everyone could and should be throwing. And with the arm like Gannon's, I bet one of his favorite discs will be like a PD2. They're not going to put him on a PD2, at least not right away, because think of all the AM arms that absolutely should not be throwing PD2s, myself included. And sure, yeah, probably we'd buy one, but shouldn't. Not going to stay in the bag. Something that would stay in the bag would be like I
They don't care about it staying in the bag.
fair. Once it's bought, it's bought. But then you gotta get if it's in the bag, you need backups, you
Then
need
you need 6 more.
replacements, you lose it, you get another one, stuff like that.
I would know.
But I think I think when was the last time we saw a Razor Claw dropped?
The last time Eagle was on the team.
There was a Razor
So,
Claw in 2023.
I'm pretty sure, was it the beginning of the year the Razor Claw 3 was dropped? If not, then it was the end of last year.
Because I could see them giving Gannon a disc that should be in everybody's bag, an overstable approach
That's an
disc.
interesting take because I don't feel like people view an oversteel approach disc as a disc that should be in everyone's bag. Now, I'm not saying that I agree with that, but if I were Discmania and I was saying, hey, I'm looking for a disc that 90% of the population could bag and be satisfied with the flight, I'd be looking MD1, MD3, P2, anything on the neutral mid-range side. Now, maybe not for his first disc. I don't know what I think his first is going to be, but I think the three that I offered would probably be the most well received. Um, I think among those, the MD3, the Tour Series MD3 would be magnificent, especially if we could see a Tour Series MD3 along the lines of what the Crown Eagles used to be. I mean, those were the MD3s that everyone wanted. So I think that's kind of where you got to aim for, and I think that's going to be a high bar to fill. But I will say I'm a big Prodigy and a big Discmania guy. As these two, I purchased way too much of those two brands specifically, and I would absolutely be more willing to purchase a Gannon-Burr Discmania disc than I ever was willing to buy a Gannon-Burr Prodigy disc. Now that might just be the hype speaking, but the fact of the matter is that I think there's a lot of discs that are more publicly well received by Discmania than there is Prodigy, and there's maybe a better reputation behind a lot of them, and that might honestly show with Ganon's disc sales. I see Ian has his hand up.
Uh, one quick thing first.
I
Um,
love his little. Nope,
I
you don't get the mic game.
I propose a gentleman's wager.
Ooh, I like this.
I say we each get to pick one mold to guess for Gannon's first signature disc. And if you get it right, you get one bought for you by the other two.
I was gonna
But
say
you can't
chicken,
pick
but
3 options this time, Trent.
okay, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. Okay, so are we all gonna pick one?
Yes,
Okay. Who gets to go first?
you can go first.
MD3 baby.
I'm gonna go with an MD5. Just
That's a hot take.
I don't know. Something's pulling at my heartstrings about it. That's my
Also,
guess.
we have to mention this isn't like Gannonburg. It's his disc stands on a bunch of discs, and it just happens to be that one. This is his Tour Series disc. I haven't heard about that yet. Jonah said he thinks that they've already announced 2 discs that will have his name on it. I haven't heard anything about that. I'm fascinated to hear. Ian, what do you think?
Well, we all know what I'm going to say, right? Wrong. Not the DD one. I'm going FD.
That's a hot take.
I think they will. I think Gannon Burr FD. Are you kidding me? I would get that, and I
I'd
don't
buy it.
even buy discs anymore.
I'd buy one for you and for me.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
maybe
it's
for
just
Jonah.
like that is. I mean, the FD is really like the people's buzz of fairways.
Yeah.
Like it's just, if you have a slightly faster arm, you just put a little more hyzer on it. It's gonna go flat forever. If you have a
I want
slower
to get
arm,
another
you throw
MD.
it. You throw it with a little bit of anhyzer. It's gonna go straight forever. Like whatever. It's just a winner of a disc in my opinion. So that's the FD, and I think if I'm gonna go for one, plus they don't have anybody's name on an FD yet, do they? For a tour
Ella
series?
Hansen,
Okay, well, sorry, Ella.
the showstopper.
Yeah,
Was
sorry,
kind of
Ella.
sexist to you.
Well, no. If she was Kristen Tatar, then maybe she wouldn't get picked
Kristen
off a
should have
disc.
her
But
name on every single disc
I mean,
ever made.
well, at least out of latitudes, like
He's better than Paul Macbeth all time.
honestly, how many more? She has to have more wins than Paul Macbeth at this point.
All Pro Tour wins, yes.
Yeah.
But not majors and not like all time wins, like PDGA wins.
All right. Well,
But Pro Tour,
the
since
fact
Pro
that
Tour
the
only
fact
started
that
technically in 2019, 2020.
oh, that's true. Well, the fact that she still has more than she probably has more than any male.
Oh, absolutely.
Right.
I think the male with the most right now is Ricky.
Yeah, so
So
the fact that she's just beating all of those guys and like that just speaks to her dominance. So yeah, she should have her name on every
fun fact, we
craze
got way off topic.
or on every
Jonah, what
latitude.
disc do you think Gannon will have his name on?
Yeah, here he is.
Oh, you're right. Okay. Well, I'm not paying attention.
That's
I
right.
had one more thing I wanted to ask about Gannon. Oh yeah. How do you guys feel about the fact, just to preface, Gannon posted a picture on Instagram today of him surrounded in the snow of like every single rare Innova disc ever made, by or Innova made Discmania disc ever made. So Cloud Breakers, Roaring Thunders, blah blah blah, you name it. All of the discs they don't currently manufacture. But it would make sense if he bagged or threw some of them. How do you think we're going to see Gannon's contract be formatted to where he can throw those discs and the new Discmania disc? Because you don't want him throwing all old discs because that's just you can't sell new old discs. And he's gonna say, "Cool, I got a CD2 in the bag," and then you can't go buy one, even though it's the CD1. But like, you get the point.
Yeah, I think he'll throw some old discs. I honestly think he'll probably throw way more new discs than old discs, though.
Interesting.
Uh, I mean, it really boils down to they want him to push plastic, number one. Number two, from Gannon's perspective, wouldn't you want to start your tenure with a company off, with discs that are going to be replaceable way more readily, right? Like if he's throwing an Innova made Night Strike, how many more of those exist? Like not a lot. So to be able to replace that exact disc, that would be, I mean, even for him, like with the draw he has, he could probably ask anyone on the street if they have a Night Strike, they'd give it to him. But you know, you would want to use discs that are easily replaceable. So I don't know if he would necessarily go for that, but there will definitely be a couple oldies in the bag where he'll be like, "This is a flex," and he puts it in there. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if he puts like an old Cloud Breaker in there or something.
On a side note, Daddy Nate Perkins, please bring back the Night Strike and go back to Discmania. I miss it too much.
Yeah, I never have thrown one, so I wouldn't know.
Neither have I, but I've seen people throw it, and it looks really cool. It's really cool. It's like, that's all you need to
All right,
know.
Jonah, it's your turn to say whatever you were gonna say.
I was also gonna bring up the fact that Gannon. I didn't see that picture of him with all the rare discs. That's
You just looked it
hilarious.
up.
No, I'm trying to find the picture of him. It's just I saw like an MD1, an FD1, and a link that just had the little GB on like the stock stamp. That's how I saw that somewhere. And now that I'm struggling to find it, maybe it was just made by somebody. But I really thought that those were for sure the three molds. But um, I uh, I was also gonna bring up the fact that 2/3 of Gannon's Prodigy bag were not stock, and
Yeah, but
y-
Prodigy sucks.
Prodigy sucks, sure,
Sure.
Like
but
their stock discs suck.
their old discs are so much better. I would argue the same could be said for most Discmania molds, that the Innova made ones are just a little bit better.
This is not to say that the nudist mania ones are bad. It's
No,
just that the Innova made ones are so much better.
like an like a S line MD3 or a C line MD3 Innova made, chef's kiss. Mwah, mwah. Are we doing this?
I'm an MD3 guy. I have all the old Innova stuff, and this is my
Oh
happy.
boy.
He's gonna go get his now too because we just love our old
See,
Innova
I
stuff.
don't live here, and also, wait, I have an MD5
You do have an MD5.
C line, not the S line
Oh, and
stuff.
actually, this isn't all my MD3s.
All right, show off.
These are all Innova made, not including the 1 to 2 that I have in my bag.
Wow,
Shout out Innova.
wow. Oh, here comes Jonah. Here comes Jonah.
Ooh, he brought out the
Jonah, what do you
Roaming
have to
Thunders
present to
too.
us today?
D line MD3, Eagle McMahon signature C line MD3 Innova made. Let me get all up in there. Innova made Metal Flake C line MD3.
These are both FDs.
Wait. Got to do this right.
Roaming
So you can
Thunders
see,
1
look at
and
this.
2.
This is kind of cool.
Roaming Thunders 1 and 2. And then 2 Dark Malls.
Fun fact: at a tournament, The TD sold him this dark maul for $10 because someone lost it and they didn't come reclaim it and he didn't want to keep it. So it's like, hey, you want to take the disc? And he's like, sure, I'll $10.
Yeah.
I still
No
have a
one
massive
here in
that
this room or watching this podcast currently likes you right now.
at all. In the slightest, actually. I kind of
None
hate
of
you.
the 10 people present like
Hey, positive affirmations.
All right, none
We're
of
gonna
the
have
300,000 people
Thank you.
watching you
300,000. That's a number I
like
like.
you.
All right, so let's head to way too early predictions. So we actually tried doing this last week when we flunked the pod because it just didn't work, and we're gonna do it again. But the fun fact, we don't remember any of our answers. So
Oh, I
we're gonna be
remember.
going off the top of the dome, pulling out of our butts, and just going. I didn't want to have to watch that.
What?
You got way too quiet there. Anyway, so I want to hear Ian first. I want to hear your takes for MVP, Most Improved Player, and Comeback Player of the Year. Actually, not even Comeback Player of the Year, just because I don't
Yeah.
think many people are that hurt.
No, I mean the only person that would be is Paul Macbeth, and
Eagle technically is actually.
true, but whatever. MVP. I'm gonna go Kyle Klein.
I love that take.
You want to know why? Because he was sneaky good last year,
2 wins.
but good enough to like
Waco.
put even more clout to his name to where if he shows up and shows out this year, I feel like he could have a real MVP conversation. You know what I mean? Like 2 straight years from a young gun up and comer. Come on. And he doesn't have that part of his game that's like, oh, that part's amazing. He could work on the other part. He's just all around. Like, you don't think of him and think, wow, he's an amazing putter. You don't think of him and think, wow, he's an amazing driver. Like, he's just a player who shows up and shoots good scores every week.
Like all around A- in every
Yes.
setting.
A-
On
all
that
around.
same note, I want to bring this up. I think it's so funny. Is remember when Gannon was dealing with his Prodigy contract issue last year, and one of the things Prodigy cited was that they didn't feel that they had enough competitive talent on the team, and like he was like their marquee player. Funny enough, because Gannon didn't even have the best season on Prodigy last year. To expand from that, he's now coming to Discmania where they're branding him as the future. Ignoring the fact that Kyle Klein is, I think, 3 years older than Gannon is, and he just won USDGC last year and Waco.
Yeah.
And
Come
I
on,
would much
Discmania.
rather have USDGC than whatever 4 wins Gannon had. So yeah, kind of an interesting way to go about that Discmania,
Yep.
especially after watching Prodigy do it last year. Jonah, what do you think?
Whoa, I didn't get my most improved.
Oh, you're right. I'm a jerk. What's your most improved, Ian?
I gotta think about like who's needs to improve. Would Alden Harris count? Probably. I
He
think
had a pretty good season
I
last
think he
year,
could
but
like I think he'd go for a win or two. Like if he really had a successful season, he could go for 2 wins.
I like that take. I
If
also like
he-
how we're mentioning all future or current Discmania players.
That's true. That's true.
The biases are crazy.
But Kyle Klein, I don't count as part of the like hype because he's been there, done that on Discmania. So
Fair enough. Let's go to Jonah Hansen. What do you think?
Alrighty. My pick for MVP is. I should have been thinking about this when Ian was answering. I am gonna go with my main man, my home slizzle, my best friend, future best friend,
Anthony Brella.
Anthony Barella.
I knew it.
Him and I
I
would
think that's what I said last week.
him and I would be such good homies. AB, if you're listening, hit my line.
Hello.
Him and I
Phone number right now.
like this. AB, my phone number is 701-412-4126. Hit my line.
In my line.
We'd be homies. So
Was that your actual phone number?
Yep.
That's wild. Call Jonah and leave him
please
leave
don't. Can
him
we bleep
nasty
that?
schwasty
Can
texts.
we bleep that, please?
Why did you say your
I
real
don't know.
number?
I did it for the lulz.
Yeah,
If
That was
one
a
of y'all
terrible
texts
idea.
Jonah,
Don't
I
text
will
me, I'll
give you a
change it.
cookie. I'll Venmo you money for a cookie.
just bleep
I
one
actually
of the numbers so that he has to try every.
that was not
It's only
that
10
was
tries.
not
Yeah,
my real
I-
number.
I don't know.
Actually,
Dedication.
fun fact, meme. That was not my real number. Get pranked.
Right any way you want.
Dude, everybody call that
Please don't.
number.
Please don't.
Most improved player.
So, okay, let me expand. AB, I think he will have an MVP season. Low key, hate to say this, he might not get a win, but he'll be so close so many times that they just have to give it to him.
He gets
So
second place.
He
So he
gets second
just
place at every single tournament.
so
Yep,
he just has
that's my vote.
Calvin's season this year, but without wins.
Yeah, and second every time, and always has the win and then flounders it.
Beat him
Second
by like 10.
second at every pro event this year would be almost as many second places as I had last year myself.
Okay, I'm picturing AB going full European Open at every single Pro Tour event this year.
Just choke it on 17.
Uh-huh.
That's so funny. Actually,
So
16.
sorry, AB. Hey, I'll help you work through it. I got this book. We'll work on it. Hit me up. So
It's called the
that's
Bible.
and no, it's called
How
mental
to win
tennis. But we'll work on that, AB. Don't worry. My pick for most.
New Axiom pictures dropped on the MVP page.
I don't get
Wow,
those.
now it says discs.
Yeah, now it says discs. Just saw
Wow.
this.
Ooh.
What do we think? I think it's the Pixel. Do you guys think it's
I
Eagle?
think it's the Pixel. That's a
Are we a little worried that there has been no mention of an announcement by MVP yet for Eagle?
No, they're building.
I
it.
am. I'm a little worried.
All right, now continue your most improved.
And then my most improved, I think the legit, objectively correct answer for most improved will be some Joe Schmo who's been getting 60ths and then all of a sudden starts consistently getting like 20ths. That's probably the guy that will have improved the most. But somebody who I'm excited to see what they can do this year, Chris DC Clemonade. I'm excited. I love the switch for him from Trilogy to Discraft. Can't wait to see what he does,
It's on
what he
Discraft now.
accomplishes. Yeah,
How
he
cool
went
is
from
that?
DD Clemonade to DG Clemonade to DC Clemonade. DC's the coolest one. Gotta be
I
honest.
love that you just got that so flawlessly in a row. I could never.
Dude, DC Clemonade is the coolest one. I cannot wait to see him slinging zones around all over the place with his little lefty arm. I'm so excited.
Big left.
His big lefty arm, I mean. I've never been a huge Clemonade guy, and then for some reason, the
Now you
last
are.
few weeks, he's been growing on me. And also, I'm a Discraft guy through and through, so maybe I'm biased.
Big Discraft guy.
But yeah, I'm excited to see what Clemonade does. He was pretty consistently around the top 10 this year, if I'm not mistaken. So maybe a couple wins and boom, improvement.
Jonah Hansen, number 1, forehand guy.
Mm-hmm.
Number
They do
2,
be saying that.
Discraft guy.
They do also be saying that one, but mostly forehand guy. I'm a big forehand guy.
Big forehand guy.
If you watch
You
Trent's
like watching.
nope, I'd do him so good. If you
Uh,
watch Trent's forehand versus lefty video on his channel, you'll see I'm a big forehand
Check it out. He's schnasty.
Mhm.
All right, so this was my turn now. I'll start with my MVP. I'm gonna be a basic little guy, and I think Isaac Robinson's gonna have another step up year. I mean, he went from 1 win to 2 wins. I think he's going 3+ this year. Not to mention his 2 wins last year were both majors. Let's also talk about the fact that the 2 majors that he won last year are at heavily wooded courses. What more could you ask for? Um, I think he is on track to be the best player in MPO next year, which is obviously MVP means. But I mean, he's got to have the cleanest game in the sport right now. He's not the biggest thrower, but he's, I would say, the most accurate and potentially among the top 5 best putters.
Might be a hot take. I don't think disc golf as a sport cares enough about who actually was the most valuable player, and they care more about like the vibes of that title, and so I don't think they'll give it to the same guy.
Fair enough. My most improved. I'm thinking about this, and I did say this last year, but I want to see it happen this year, so I'm going to speak into existence. I'm taking Mr. Ezra Hold, Daddy Ezra, and that just made Jonah so happy because he's a Discraft guy. But love myself as he's a character. He's essentially a local to us.
Yeah, where's he
from
from again?
Sioux Falls.
South Dakota.
Yeah, what's the name of the town?
Sioux Falls, right?
I thought it was
Aberdeen.
Aberdeen.
Oh, Aberdeen. You're right.
Aberdeen, South Dakota.
Yeah.
Big Ez, shouts out.
Don't ask. I remember that bit from last week, and I regret it. I'm so happy I didn't post it. I was a bit mean to Ezra. But it's okay because it was all in good spirits, and we love Ezra, and that's why we make fun of him. Is because we're basically his best friends. Yeah, Ezra's due for a big year. Might not come with a win. I don't know if that's quite his caliber yet, but I think he will have multiple high finishes. If you remember a couple years ago, he had that one really, really, really good tournament at LBC. Just a musher course, and I think there's gonna be a lot of stops on tour that really fit him in that way this year.
I just want to chip in there. You say you talk about like the win, how he might not have it in him. It's interesting. I think some guys just have a killer instinct. I think in every sport, every competition activity, there's the people who have the killer instinct who are able to finish it in the clutch moments, and then there are the Anthony Barellas.
That's a call out.
We've already been saying, but it's true, right? Like there's the guys who can finish it and get the job done, get the win, and like they say afterwards, like, yeah, I was really nervous on the 18th there, but like they still executed. And then there's the guys who just can't. I claim myself as one of those. I usually can't finish, the hard shot at the end. So it's just I think
That's crazy.
I think Ezra might be just as good as any disc golfer. He just doesn't have the killer finishing ability that a Paul Macbeth does. Not so much lately, unless he's in Europe, uh, and then not more like Isaac Robinson or Calvin Heimberg. Any of the big winners last year. So I think more so it's just what it shouldn't be about all the wins, in my opinion. I think it should be more rounded because the win is like Anthony Varela was the best player at the European Open last year, like undoubtedly, right? He didn't get the win because he screwed it up in 3 holes, but he was the best player there. So I think sometimes MVP needs to take a look away from the wins because a guy like Ezra might actually get more looks then.
I like to take a lot. Okay, and now we're going to move on to our final segment for the night, which is going to be the game segment. All right,
Da-da-da-da.
I like that. Wrong game.
Oh.
Anyway, today we are going to be playing Ranker, which is a website which has a bunch of cool games on it. And I was too lazy to make my own game, so we're going to be doing disc golf courses this year, and in particularly Pro Tour stops. So we have, what is it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 16, 20 of the top pro courses in the nation listed right here, and we're going to rank them for you guys. So, yeah, hope you guys enjoy.
Trent, what's this game called again?
They're not called Ranker? Oh, it's Tier Maker.
Ranker? I hardly know her.
That's crazy.
All right.
All right, so if you guys know
Chill.
this course right here, do you guys know what this is?
USDGC?
That is absolutely Winthrop Gold at USDGC.
Oh, I thought you were about to say, like, you are such an idiot. That is not that. And I would have been like, you know what? You're right. I don't know my courses.
That would have been really funny, and I love that you expected it. Anyway, where do you guys rank the course? Because I know where I rank it, and if you need me to say it first, I'll say it.
Below average.
Wow, that's a hot take. That's an insanely hot take.
Really? You
I
think
was
that's a
gonna
good
say-
course?
I was gonna say good.
Good was my answer as well. Because the fact of the matter is that it is a historical and fantastic course in that sense, but it is gimmicky and it is not really anything special aside from some small gimmicks and changes and such.
That's exactly why I think it's below average. Like, you put that course in any other tournament, we hate it. It's literally just because it's USDGC that everyone's like, oh, well, it's okay. It can do the job. Like, the most interesting hole in that course is like a 280-foot, or I don't know, 320-foot shot through a quad mando, like, or a triple mando, I guess. Like, who cares? You can put a triple mando on any course. So, I mean, you might have something to say about that, but the most interesting hole in that course is not interesting to me. I think that speaks for itself.
Personally, I love gimmicks and have a dream of creating an 18-hole course exclusively of the most gimmicky holes you could imagine. So, I'm a big fan.
So, you said below average, you say average.
Below average.
Wow. So, are we saying this drops it down to an
Well, are we
average?
saying average of the pro courses?
I was thinking just, I mean, I guess you can look at it that way. I was kind of looking at it on like the plane of like just courses in general. Like,
Well,
Then
I mean, come on, we
everything is
can't be ranking
excellent.
these against
We can't-
Woodlawn and
right.
or in Moorhead. Like,
We cannot be ranking these around our parks courses we have here in town.
all right,
That's
okay,
not
fine. Well,
comparable.
let's do it against Pro Tour courses.
it's
Then.
either got to be below average or average in my opinion. Like, there's too many other good courses that I would.
Then I think we're gonna have to move to average. Ladies and gentlemen, Winthrop Gold is an average course.
It's below average or even not good.
All right, now next course with the hand eye logo. If I'm not wrong, I do believe that is an Oregon course. Is that not what's the one Oregon course that Carson goes to? He went to all the
Milo
time.
guy.
Yeah, it's Milo, right?
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure it's Milo. So we're gonna say it's Milo.
Couldn't
So-
it also be? No, it's not.
Milo
Oh
MacGyver.
yeah, it's definitely got those.
Beaver
trees.
State Fling. What do you guys think?
I love that course.
That's high good for me. High good could teeter on low excellent depending on where the rest of this ranking goes.
It's definitely not excellent, just because I think there's some the excellence got to be reserved for like the top 2 or 3, and I don't think it's top 2 or 3. It's not even a top tier event. It's Silver Series, isn't
I
it,
don't like this. Is
or whatever they call that now? So I think it's a really high good, like Jonah said for sure. Yeah, it's definitely above USDGC. So
We're
Alright,
gonna.
I rest my case.
I'm really hoping that just fixed the glitching issue we had.
We gotta get comfier chairs for this.
Yeah, we do, and we'll invest in it once we get some sponsors. Sponsors, hit us up.
Coors Banquet. Hit my line. Sponsor me.
That's crazy. All
I
right.
can't claim any affiliates to any alcohol for the next, what day is it?
It's
Sunday.
The 13th? For another 18 days.
I am personally gonna rank Milo MacGyver at a solid high good because I've never been to that course, but I know many pro players say that it's among the best, if not the best course they've played. So high good it goes. I don't know what course this is. And if it's a course we don't know, we're gonna stick it on here.
These images in here?
Nope, I found these on the website.
Okay.
So it looks like we're gonna be ranking Jones Park at Emporia.
Is that not Jonesboro?
Is this Jonesboro? Should we act like it's Jonesboro?
We could call it.
No, this is Jonesboro over here.
No, that's
Idlewild.
Oh, you're totally right. Maybe this is Jonesboro.
I think this is Jonesboro.
I think I think you're right.
They
That
should
is
totally
Jonesboro.
have put the Y tree hole for that.
Or is this
shot.
Jonesboro with the blue basket?
No.
This is embarrassing for us.
Okay,
This
let's
is
do
sad.
courses we know first. So right here we have the Preserve,
The only one in our home state of
the only
Minnesota.
one in our home state. So personally, wow, that's a hot take for someone who's never played the course. That's crazy, right?
You never played that course?
Never played the course. We will be playing this summer. Personally, my favorite course. Although I will have to say this is going to be a good right below Milo MacGyver. Fantastic course. I love it, and it's probably just because it's one of the only Pro Tour courses I've played. But it's close to my heart. What do you guys think?
Yeah, it's still I really think we got to rank USDGC lower because I would probably put it at average. I love this. It'd be a high average, maybe even mid good, but it's not beautiful in my opinion. I think it's a little run down looking still. I think over time it'll get built up. I think Kale LaVisca is a great course designer. I've seen what he's done with my personal favorite course I've ever played down in Rochester, and I'm gonna forget what it's called. I'll remember it. Driftless 18.
You played that?
It is so beautiful down there. It's a fishbowl of disc golf, and he did so well with that property. I have all the faith that the Preserve will keep improving because he's just got a vision for disc golf. But right now, it's not an aesthetically pleasing course. I think it's got plenty of challenges, and I personally like it when pros are challenged to shoot as low of a score as they can go, like close to neg 18. I think that's fun to watch. So when Eagles are in play, even when Albatrosses are in play, I think that's the niche that disc golf fits into. So from that aspect, I like that course. I just don't think it's pretty enough yet.
I joked about excellent just because that's I went there for the tournament last year. We did together. But I would put it at mid good. I'm guessing the good category is gonna get a little overinflated, so it might be low good. But as of now, I would say for sure below Milo MacGyver.
So we're gonna stick this right below Milo MacGyver. Beautiful. And then let's see what's another course we know. We know a lot of these courses. Let's just go with Jones Park Gold. You guys remember Jones Park Gold?
From where?
This is Emporia, Kansas. So this will be
Oh.
like DDO. This is not. This isn't.
average.
This isn't the.
Good.
This is the non golf course. This is the other one.
All of those courses are horrible in my opinion.
I do have to agree.
I think there's nothing interesting about the challenge of those courses aside from if it's 40 degrees, 40 miles per hour wind. Like I legitimately think there's challenge. I just don't think they're interesting. And also like love my friends out in Kansas. Who wants to go to Kansas? You know, it's just there's even more nothing out there than there is in Minnesota, and that is saying something. That is saying something, people. So below average, not good. I think it's the same tier as whatever we put USDGC, which makes me mad that we put average for USDGC. So I still think it's below average.
I for one think that USCGC should be above Jones Park Gold.
Okay, then not good and below average.
I'm thinking this is teetering between not good and below average. I'm personally, actually, I think Jones Park is not gold because I think the other course is at least okay, and that's how I feel. So, do you agree, Jonah? All right, not good. Crap course.
Kansas blows.
Blue Basket.
We should call this Jonesboro.
Do we know? Is this Jonesboro? Do we think?
I don't know, man.
Skip.
Oh wait, is that the one with the first water shot? It's the insurance Ledgestone.
Not with the Prodigy Basket.
Oh. Really?
I vote skip.
I'm pretty sure. Okay, let's skip. Skip. This looks like Ledgestone or Deglow, or this is the Discraft tournament, right?
Mm-hmm. Is that European?
It's Discraft. So we're gonna say it's
just go to
it's
the next-
Ledgestone.
What's that next one? Is that
The next one is the DDO golf course.
Yeah, let's do that one next.
Okay, DDO golf course. Emporia Country Club.
It's below average though, because it's got one cool hole, the island hole.
I do think it should be below average as well, but I think it is better than Jones Park Gold.
I just really don't understand how you guys think that USDGC is above these.
Bro, hop off it.
It's so bad. It's such a bad course.
We'll get to the tweaking portion after.
I'm pretty sure you're so alone on this
I
take.
don't think I am. It's horrible.
It's insane. Okay, so first of all, I see Deglow right here, so we can get Deglow off the board right now. What do we think of the ski course?
I'm a big fan of Deglow.
It's just because they're
Given
Discraft.
my Discraft biases, I vote between the Preserve and Milo.
Dude, I think it could be not good.
That's
I think this course could be our first excellent.
that's insane.
I love the elevation changes. I think there's a really cool aspect of using really unique obstacles for Michigan or this specific spot in Michigan. It's a lot of elevation change. I don't think a lot of other courses do as good of a job as using elevation change to like make a challenge. And again, it's one of those courses where people can go shoot really low scores, which I like. So
I personally think this should be nothing more than a high good. And actually, I'm teetering on the fact that I don't think it should be better than Milo. I think it's absolutely a good course, and that's nothing to take away from the greatness that it is. But I do think there are many Pro Tour courses that are better than this course.
My biggest knock against it is in the round where Paul shot 18 under. He had a hole where he talked about it being like, I just kind of threw it up there and hoped for the best. Like there are some holes that are a little bit luck based when it comes to going for the bird, and I feel like that deserves to bring it to good.
but the fact
Switch
that
that
it's
with
got
the Preserve.
the fact that
I
it's
tried
got,
to.
sorry. The fact that it's got some knocks against it and it like maybe even fixable knocks against it, and the fact that it's still landing in good, I think speaks pretty cool about that course. Like it is a really well designed course utilizing really cool obstacles.
So the next instantly recognizable course that I'm seeing is Music City. Yes, let's do Music City. Why not? Music City. What do we think?
Top tier course because
Just because
Simon won it.
Yep, that's exactly what I thought.
I was gonna say
Rest my case.
above USDGC and average. It always looks really pretty on coverage.
That is
It's nice
exactly
and
what I was
green,
going to say.
Nice and green, nice and lush. I would say above USDGC in that average category.
How you feeling about that, Ian?
He wants everything above USDGC.
No, well, yeah, but I think no, there was a knock against it that the tee pads were kind of not good looking, right? They were like made of football turf or something, so they had weird lines going through it, and some people who didn't know disc golf were like, "Oh, is that some kind of obstacle that they have to do off the tee or something?" So I think there were some small tweaks from the course last year where, so if we're talking based off of last year, I would probably mark it down a little bit. I like the course, but it was a little bit uninteresting overall. I felt like I didn't feel like there was a lot of like really unique holes other than hole 2 or 3 where it was like 180 feet and they had to throw this weird like driver shot. So it's a fine course. I don't think it has enough. It's kind of like an Emporia or either of the two Kansas courses. Not a lot stands out to me on it.
All right. Next course that I'm seeing that's instantly recognizable. I do believe that I see Northwoods Black right here. So we're gonna do Northwoods Black next. Northwoods Black. I think this is an excellent course. I think this is potentially the best wooded course on tour. I think if we could actually ever get some freaking cameras in on the course while the players are playing, this would potentially be one of the best viewed courses. And actually, now that I say that, I'm a little worried about Champions Cup not getting footage entirely throughout the course, which would really suck. But yeah, my opinion, Northwoods Black, excellent course.
I agree with Ian. I like watching pros shoot 18 under rounds. That being said, pardon my French, I like watching them get their stuff stomped a little bit from time to time, showing me they're
That was some
humans.
really crappy French.
Well, I was gonna say worse words, but then I chose not
That's
to.
more
I
words for me.
self-censored for the first time in my entire life. Thanks, Ian. So I love the excellent play here. I love excellent. I like seeing pros get absolutely beaten down, broken, and demoralized because
That's how Jonah
shows
feels on
me-
a normal course.
exactly that's how I feel on a pitch and putt. So
I definitely think this is excellent.
Think.
Just if I could shoot my 2 cents in here, again, I think you're totally right. Like, as much as I love seeing pros shoot 18 downs, I think there's a lot of room for pushing the envelope of how good people can actually be at manipulating a disc through the air. So I think there can be I think there can be some tournaments that are really good because pros can shoot really low numbers, but then you got to balance that out with tournaments where they're really challenged to be excellent. And if they can still shoot low numbers, it's insanely impressive. And the one thing I was gonna say when you first brought it up is, does the fact that it can't be covered as well reflect poorly on the course? Do we take away from the course, or is that DGPT or Disc Golf Network? Are we more knocking them for that?
They actually did do some work to improve that this year, and they were able to record certain cards during those holes by wiring through the trees, which like isn't the best option, but it worked. And of
Yeah.
course, you'd like to see a better scenario go down to where you could see an entire day of coverage go on and be able to see everything in the trees. But the fact of the matter is that it's many pros' favorite course for a reason, and it's just sadly one that embraces everything that's good about disc golf, and everything that's good about disc golf can't quite be captured on a professional level yet with what the sport has available to it.
Yeah, I think in 5 years, this won't even be a problem, or maybe it will because Disc Golf Network doesn't inspire a lot of confidence sometimes. That's a discussion for another time, though. So I think we can leave it at it's an excellent course. If we're taking in full viewer enjoyment, maybe it's brought down to good. But I think if we're going purely based off of course, then it's an excellent course.
not to yuck our yums at all here, but I vote that we go through a couple more of these courses, the ones we're really passionate on, with our in-depth explanations as to why, and then for the rest, we
Speed
soul
run.
read it. We speed run that. Speed
Yeah.
run that B.
I'm down. So I think I'm seeing 1, 2, 3, 4 courses that I know real well that I feel like we should like really hit.
The only one I'm really passionate about is MVP.
All right, so
Maple
say not good.
No.
I'll do it for you. Here we go.
Nah, take that bleep out of there. Yeah, I was gonna say we got Maple Hill, then there was Idlewild
Maple Hill,
and
Idlewild. We do
Ledgestone.
also have Fountain Hills right here.
Is that
We
Ledgestone?
have we have Idlewild right here. I don't
Let's
remember
just
which
hit
ones.
Idlewild and Maple
We'll
Hill
just
and
say a Pro Tour course if we don't know what the picture is.
yeah,
Anyway, MVP. I want to hear your 30 seconds. Go.
excellent. It's a pristine course, pushes the boundaries of disc golf. Pros have complaints about interfering limbs sometimes where there shouldn't be,
And crappy tee pads.
and crappy tee pads, both of which can be fixed. I think they have a winning course already that if it was just a little better maintained, there would be literally nothing bad to say about it. Still, I don't even think the tee pads are that crappy. I think that's just pros picking on things that they want to pick on.
I think the tee pads look pretty nice. I bet they're not enjoyable when it's wet though. That's my biggest note for the tee pads. Um, I have a pretty bad memory for things like this. I don't remember courses very well unless I've played them. I remember many of the holes at Maple Hill, which has to be a testament to how memorable each of the holes are. So it's got to be an excellent for me.
One thing I will ask is it above Northwoods Black?
Beautiful.
I've got it at a dead tie, so if you two have it above, then we're putting it above.
Again, Northwoods Black is a great course, but I don't remember many holes aside from the one devious par five that everyone hates and averages like above par every single time.
Because you can't watch all of the holes.
Precisely.
Yeah, I mean, just 10 more seconds. It's
Nine,
just the
8,
most pristine golf. It's
polished.
it's like the Masters of disc golf. Like everyone tunes into that tournament. You want to watch how the pros do on your favorite holes.
I'd have to agree. All right, next course we're gonna hit real fast. LVC,
Ooh.
which also mention is not a pro tour event this year. Real fascinating.
Yeah, I think there's a reason, and I think it's below average. That's just not a lot of interesting stuff. I love hole 18. It's kind of fun.
I would love to play the course, and I think it'd be a really fun play. Don't think it's pro tour caliber. Aside from
10 years ago it was.
I think LVC would be a great all star event.
Yeah.
If we had the all star event at LVC every year, absolutely amazing. Would love to watch that every time. It's a competitors event to where you can just go out and screw around and enjoy yourself. It's not a competitive event.
I think they did pretty well for what you can do in Vegas climates and on a Vegas golf course. And if you're ranking it on how well the course could be for the property, I would say pretty good. But that's not what we're ranking it on. I would say low average or high below average.
I was gonna say high below average, above uh uh dynamic.
Emporia, yeah. Kansas sucks.
All right, let's do a course that we're gonna see Jonah play in not too long here because he's so excited. Let's do Fountain Hills, which I will mention has not been a Pro Tour course for a minute, but it is still a Pro Tour caliber course, and you see many pros, especially from the Arizona, California area, go play that course every single time the Memorial comes around or Shelly Sharp comes around. Let's hear your thoughts. I want to keep this one short, so let's buzz through it real quick.
Very exciting watching pros lose discs. A little bit funny. Not the highest quality, of course, as far as the pro tour goes. Also, are we sure that this picture is Fountain Hills? Is that a water fountain in the background or is it a water tower?
I saw one with the water fountain. I don't remember which one it was. But we're gonna act like it's okay, so this is absolutely Lake Eureka that I'm looking at now.
Yep, it's what everyone Big Ez got the water tower ace on.
You're right.
Oh, yeah. So that's Ledgestone.
So we're gonna take this little project basket right here that we don't know what it is, and we're gonna act like this is Fountain Hills. Yeah.
I would say low average.
Low average.
Not good.
Well, I'm gonna say high below average, but above LVC.
All right.
That's gonna be our one. All right, we're gonna do a little speed roundsy real quick and go through the rest of the courses that we can identify. So let's start off. Lake Eureka, 10 seconds.
Just kidding. I'd say average, maybe even below average, but
Jonah.
I would say above USDGC, below Music City.
I like that. Cool. I was going to put it in a very similar place. I do think it's better than USGC. Do not think it's better than Music City. Next course. Let's do Jonesboro, right?
Idlewild.
Idlewild. Thank you. I forget their name.
Idlewild, above Preserve. Maybe even above. No, above Preserve. I like Idlewild a lot, and that's one of my dream courses to play on tour.
Yeah, I have a friend who went out and played Idlewild a few years back. Had nothing but raving reviews about it, and he's a good disc golf player, so he actually kept his discs and, birdied some of the holes. So that was cool for him to talk to me about. I think it's a cool course. A lot of really fun shots, some really memorable holes all around. Also the logs around a few of the greens. I think that is really just disc golf courses need to do that more. You know what I mean? Make some interesting, memorable little bits.
Yeah.
Out of their
I was
course.
gonna have it in a very similar place. I think it would be one spot higher if it didn't have veteran baskets. On to the next. I'm pretty sure I'm blanking on what it's called, but the Vermont course.
Like Green Mountain
GMC,
Championship
yeah.
course, like Fox Run,
Fox
and
Run, yeah. So this is
Fox Run or Smuggler's Notch are
I
the
think
two.
this is Smug's Notch is this one. It looks
Maybe.
Smug's Notchy. So
Maybe.
we're gonna act like it's Smug's Notch.
Sure, we'll call it Smug's Notch. I kind of loved it. I agree. Maybe high good. I went to Worlds. I looked at the course. I threw it a little bit. Loved. I thought it was fun. I thought it was cool. It was pretty. Everything was nice. Way far away from anything civilization. But aside from that, pretty cool.
I personally really love Smug's Notch. I've only watched it, but I do have to say from what I've seen, it looks like a very high caliber course, and it makes for great entertainment, and it's a course that is definitely bucket listable for me.
I have zero experience with this course aside from watching like 4 holes from Worlds last year. So I trust your guys' analysis.
All right. I can't tell just from looking at any of these other pictures what exactly these are, and my mouse isn't for some reason.
Isn't the one second to the left? Or is that Idlewild?
No, Idlewild had the.
No, it's the one where it's like a 280-foot tunnel shot.
I know which hole you're talking about.
But
What course is that?
this one,
Idlewild you're thinking of.
this one that I
Okay.
do want to know your guys' opinion on is you remember the one course that they played in Carolina? It was North Cove. This looks very North Covey, so I'm gonna act like it's North Cove. So they played a silver event there last year. Gannon Burr won it. I think this is one of the best future courses on tour, and I can absolutely see this being a pinnacle stop for the tour players next year. I think this belongs in a high to mid good.
I don't remember it. I believe you.
Ditto.
Why are you not working? Okay, I'll figure that out later. I'm thinking above Idlewild. That might be crazy.
I would love Idlewild to be above it.
Okay,
Uh,
cool.
just-
All right. I can't recognize any more courses just from looking at this. So, do you guys have any more input on that?
I'm surprised that we didn't get a look at any of the West Coast courses.
Very true. I don't see OTB. We did look at Milo. That's
That one's like the least good of those 3 in my opinion.
fascinating. But yeah,
That's no disrespect to Milo. Love that course.
yeah. Well, there we go. I think that's where we're gonna wrap up the pod today. Overall, really great pod. Really excited to look back over and think about some of those things a little bit more. Drop some suggestions for topics in the comments for next week. Drop some ideas for games you'd like to see on the pod, and leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video and the pod. And we'll see you guys next time.
Also, AB, please, we could be best friends.
Be like Bert Kreischer and Hollow.
Hi, Mom.